Good afternoon, West Ham fans. It's Monday, so it's time for the Academy Show. So, a very good Monday to you all. Aren't Mondays depressing when West Ham lose? Anyway, let's bit of cheer then. We'll talk about the Academy. It's been a good week for the Academy, really. Good weekend. For anyone new to the channel, thanks for joining us. What we do every Monday is we dedicate some time just for the Academy because it's such an important part of what is West Ham. What is to be a Hammer? It's all about the Academy. And what we tend to do is sort of threefold. We'll talk about any news, any sort of contract news or things like that. Obviously, we spoke about Finn Herrick a week or so ago, potentially on the verge of signing a new long-term deal. So we're not going to really cover that because we've already done that. But then we'll talk about the Academy players out on loan. And then we talk about any games that have happened with the 18s and 21s over the weekend. For any updates in terms of the first team players on loan, like JWP, Cornet, again, Zuma, we do that in Hammer's headlines a little bit earlier on. So we'll crack into it. Not much contract news, but let's talk about the loan signings. And let's start with George Earthy. George Earthy, he's back. He's back in the side. We were a little bit sort of, not necessarily worried, but obviously he got injured and he wasn't necessarily playing much game time. He sort of made his sort of debut, so to speak, when he got the assist for the assist against Millwall. That counts because it's Millwall. But he got some decent minutes under his belt. He was a second-half substitute, came on the 71st minute for Bristol City as they beat Middlesbrough 2-0 away at the Riverside Stadium. Michael Carrick's Middlesbrough. So a West Ham connection there. Callum Marshall was on the score sheet as Huddersfield beat Bristol City 3-1 at home. He started the game, played the first 78 minutes with his goal on the 38th minute, which was really good goal, actually. He ran onto like a nutmeg through ball into the box and caught the Bristol Rovers goalkeeper off guard with a first-time finish from a very narrow angle. Very, very nice finish. Bristol Rovers have obviously got Michael Forbes on loan. That he wasn't involved in the matchday squad. He wasn't in that squad at all. PK, good start and some good minutes. Him and obviously Callum both returning back from international duties, albeit PK for the under-21s, whereas Callum was obviously the first team, Northern Ireland first team. But he started as Doncaster. Grant McCann's Doncaster Rovers beat Swindon Town 2-1 away. He was replaced on the 80th minute, so good 80 minutes under his belt. Gideon Kadoa was in the matchday squad for Wycombe Wanderers in their 3-1 home win against Peterborough. He was introduced for the last 10 minutes of the game. Levi Lang was a half-time substitute for Cheltenham Town as they won 2-1 away at Colchester United. Once again, Christian Heggie was an unused substitute. Matchday, he was in the squad, but was an unused substitute. He's very much Motherwell's number 2 goalkeeper. So maybe learning the ropes for next year. Maybe Fabianski leaves. Maybe he could come in to be the number 2 for West Ham potentially. Motherwell picked up, they lost 1-0 at home against Dundee. Mason Terry kept a clean sheet for AFC Allchurch as they drew 0-0 at home against Bath City in the Vanarama North League South. Now, there was no under-21 game. They play again this weekend, but there was an under-18 game, and thankfully, at least one side beat Spurs at the weekend, and almost the same scoreline as how the first team lost. But Spurs, West Ham under-18s beat Spurs under-18s 4-2 at Little Heath on Saturday morning, picking up their first league win of the campaign with a commanding 4-2 victory over Spurs. Although Spurs went ahead, very similar to the West Ham game. They went ahead very early on. The Hammers responded very well with 4 goals of their own before the interval, so they went up 4-1. Aegis Golombekis, my boy, scored again. As well as Alicia Romnoni and Adrian Dyke were all on the score sheet to ensure the Hammers went into halftime with a healthy lead. Like the first team, the under-18s ended up the game with just 10 men in the second half after Amike Adieli received a second yellow card. But we saw at the game relatively untroubled, to be honest, with 10 men to claim all 3 points on Derby Day. So at least one side beat Spurs over the weekend. and it was almost 4-1, but it's 4.5 time. Elsewhere, there's been some call-ups, some academy. We just finished, obviously, the first round, but the under-17s have got a call-up. Have got the England, what they called the MU17s. They've got 3 European under-17s Championship qualifiers, round 1, Group 1 qualifiers at the end of October. Laurie Owisi, Chinzana Narusu, and Andre Dyke, who obviously scored on Saturday, have all been included for England's MU17 squad for the 3 games. They play a group of 21. They're part of a group of 21 that face Malta, Latvia, and Sweden in Malta in the final week of October. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? That'd be nice. Nice bit of sun. It's like the under. I think it was when Lewis was playing for the under, and that lot playing in the under 17s, under 18s, and 19s, or whatever it was last week. They were playing in Marbella. How'd they get that one? Is it something to do with Kevin Nolan in charge of the under 21s, under 20s, maybe? Quite possibly. In terms of games coming up, the under 21s are actually playing on. They're playing this week. Is it Saturday? No, Friday. Friday night they play Wolves away, and then they play Cheltenham Town in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy next Tuesday. Levi Lane will not be playing in that game, I would imagine, despite being on loan. Similar thing happened last year with Freddie Potts. Now, Freddie's included in the first team loan spells report things, so that's why he's not included today. So I remember last year Wickham actually asked for permission for West Ham to play Freddie, which West Ham obviously denied. The under 18s, their next games they play Reading away on the Saturday. Is it Saturday they play? Yep, Saturday, and then they play Everton away on the Tuesday in the Premier League Cup. So a couple of big games for them coming up as well. Next game at home for the under 21s, I believe, is the 1st of November, where they play. I've got it in my diary, so I know they play on the 1st of November, where they play Fulham under 21s. Fulham, who I believe are coached by Hayden Mullins. I think they are. But they play at Rush Green. So if you can get to that game, please do, because it's a really good game. And I was talking to a lot of people on Friday, actually, at the Jimmy Walker night, which was a really good night. And a lot of them were a little bit disenchanted with the first team. What's more West Ham than the academy? So if you can get down, it's only a couple of quid. If you're a season ticket holder, I think it's free as well. It's a couple of hours. You can 9 times out of 10 you can park in the car park as well, and you see some of the future stars that are coming through the ranks. Some really good players, really good football, and obviously coached by former West Ham player Mark Robson, with former West Ham legend Steve Potts as his number 2. Obviously Kenny's involved. He's the academy manager. Kevin Keane's involved as sort of oversee technical director thing for the 18s and 19s. Anton Ferdinand's involved. Yeah, so it's really is nice to see. And if you can't get to them on the Tuesday, if you're in the Braintree area, they play Braintree in the National League Cup on the 5th of November at Braintree's ground. So a couple of decent games for you there. And that's it, my friends. Thank you very, very much for your time. As per usual, as I said, if you're new around here, please give it a like, comment, share, all that good stuff. This afternoon rather, at lunchtime we spoke. We gave you guys sort of a therapy session. Let it all hang out in terms of the game that happened on Saturday. Get your views, of course, get the anger out as we obviously head up for the game, get ready for the game against Man United at London Stadium at the weekend. And then Hammers Headlines, we spoke about the loan signings, as well as a little bit of news as always when it comes to West Ham. So take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith, and come on you irons. Much love. Bye-bye.